Hello, everyone. I thank you so much for taking the time to come and check out to see who my guest is today. My name is Laura Lee Kenny, and I live in New Brunswick, Canada. And I have had the great privilege using this Be Connected platform to have a video podcast where I get to interview some extraordinary people that have such great vision and have accomplished a lot of wonderful things. I'm so pleased and honored each time I get to do these interviews. And let me tell you a little bit about the guest I have right now. Her name is Kim Lee, and she's a master heart healer, a relationship coach, a teacher, a speaker, and a published author. She helps men and women both who have heartaches to heal their hearts so they can have a healthy relationship with themselves, their partners, their family, money, and business. For more than 30 years, Kim has helped thousands of people transform their lives. Kim's originally from Vietnam, and at the age of 3, her wish was to make people happy. Imagine at such a young age. Years following, when she was 12, she had a spiritual awakening and realized her gift to help people heal physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The next year, at 13, Kim immigrated with her family to America. She faced many adversities, cultural differences, language barriers, and an abusive relationship. One day, Kim Lee had a spiritual awakening, and she heard her spirit guide tell her, Kim, this is your gift. You're going to touch others to heal. What a beautiful thing. Anyway, her husband did not like that at all, and he gave her an ultimatum. And she listened to her true calling and took her girls with her and started a new life. She has been trained by exceptional people. I'm going to let her tell a little bit more about the people that have come into her life because we want to know who inspired her, who mentored her on her journey to be a mentor for other people. Kim, I'm going to unmute you and let you join the party with us here. There you go. Oh, I'm so happy to see you again.
Wow.
Now, this beautiful lady I met just last September, and we're at an event at a billionaire's house in Hollywood, California. And it was quite crowded at different times over the 3 days. We had a chance to connect a little bit and continued afterwards. And I'm so thrilled. I had a session with Kim one night that we were just getting to know one another, and she did a healing session for me. Like, I was so blessed for her to come into my life to share her beautiful gifts. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself, and she's actually offered to do some healing also on this training, this interview today. So welcome, Kim.
Thank you, Laura Lee. It's such an honor to be here to be interviewed by you. It was divine arrangement. There's what 200 plus people at the billionaire, house
Hmm.
that we connect deeply. And what I'm grateful for was you waiting half an hour to get me my lunch. So that forever, I am forever grateful. Thank you, Laura Lee.
Yes, you're so welcome. You were so surprised. Are you sure this is for me? Because the lineup to get food was horrendous at
Yes.
different times. And I was like, yes, I brought it for you. If you don't want it, you don't have to eat it. And you're like, I'm not used to people waiting on me. You just
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
make sure.
Thank you. It touched my soul because it not um well, I will not go there, but for someone say something they deliver, I will remember them forever because in my life it's not the case. People say things and they didn't deliver and
Mhm. Well, I'm glad I was a nice surprise for you.
yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes.
Now, Kim, would you please tell us who was your first mentor that you got in? I know the answer, but you were trained by somebody that got great recognition worldwide. Would you
Yes.
like to tell us a little bit about that mentor?
Yeah. I want to go further than that.
Oh,
My
sure.
my greatest mentor is my maternal grandma. She's like Bodhisattva. She's like the Lady Kuan Yang, Lady Buddha. She have
Mm-hmm.
11 children, and her first husband was extremely domineering, my grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't matter what going on in terms of that relationship, to me is toxic, but she always prays. She never raised her voice, and she loved me. Among all her grandchildren, probably 40, 50 of them, I am her favorite.
Oh.
So anyhow, I looked at her and I said, grandma powerful and loving, very kind, but she didn't get treated well from her husband. And I choose to liberate those women, because the woman in my family didn't have a voice. Grandma's powerful. She didn't have a voice. I look at her, she inspired me every day, because her love, her kindness, her compassion, the whole village loved my grandma. To this day, her legacy continue. The love, the kindness, the humility. So she's the first one that inspired me.
Oh, you give me goosebumps. I spoke to someone else today about that. I say my first real mentor was my grandmother. For although I didn't see the abuse that your grandma received from her husband, but I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, and she had three boys, no girls, and she used to always say, "I'm not allowed to say this, but you're my girl." And we had such a loving, kind relationship. Oh, like even in later years, like when she was older, like I always continued to go visit and meet with her and have her at my house in addition. So I love that you go so back to looking at somebody that probably had no money. My Grammy had no money. She had a pump inside the house. We didn't have a pump inside the house. Ours was outside, but that's all she had. A wood stove to work from. They did have electricity for lights, but that was all the electricity they had, and lived on a farm, and very tough, challenging life. So I can imagine what your Grammy went through, because I come from a family of 12 children. So I know what it's like to be have, in a large family. So I love that about you, dear.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, grandma, grandpa, they well to do, but she illiterate. So every day she would, in the countryside, you barter. See,
Yes.
she have good to sell, and they barter for the rice. People, when they harvest, they pay the rice. And
Yes.
since she illiterate, she cannot write, she cannot read, but she sell whatever she sells. She have her memory who she sell to. And by
Yeah.
the time she got home, she would tell her husband, this person owed this much. And he, the one like secretary, will write it down.
Mm-hmm.
Because my mom was the youngest, it's always go with her mom to sell, trade these good for the grain of rice.
Mm-hmm.
So they are wealthy. They
That's
own a lot.
interesting that they were wealthy for such a large family too.
They are
Wow.
very wealthy because they pass on generational wealth.
Oh, interesting. Wow. I did not know that part about you, my dear.
Thank you.
Ah.
And the next two mentor are powerful. So, Dalai Lama, he is the
Mhm.
word spiritual healer, I mean, spiritual leader and teacher. My teacher, Tenya Khan, he's a Vietnamese monk, been exiled to France for many, many years. He and Dalai Lama are same position in terms of peace activist
Mhm.
and a spiritual teacher. So I was blessed to train by him. I'm very grateful. When I was teenager, when I first saw him here in California, we have the Kim Sung Monastery. That is my teacher, Tet Tet Tịnh Tử. Tet Tịnh Tử is the student of Tet Nhật Hạnh.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, every time he came to the state to give retreat workshop, he would stop in the Morgan Hill Kim Sung Monastery,
Mm-hmm.
where Tịnh Tử, uh, you know, managing that his temple. So he would stop by and give retreat. I remember when I met thầy Thích Thích Tịnh Thích Nhất Hạnh Thích Nhất Hạnh. When I met him, there's a soul connection, and I said within my soul, within my being, when I grow up, I want to be like him, to carry
Wow.
that gracious moment and have that powerful peace within him wherever he goes. He brings that tower of peace, energy of peace with him. When I was young, that was my intention. I achieved that. So anyhow, my other teacher, Dr. Barbara Brennan, she is the world-renowned healer. She passed last year. And for her, her evolution is very interesting. She is a not she was a scientist. She
Mm.
worked for NASA for 5 years. From being a scientist, she become a massage therapist. As she worked on her client body, she saw the energy field, she saw the aura, and gradually her spirit guide, she connect with the spirit guide, and the spirit guide will tell her what the symptom of the patient that she's working on. I mean, the client she's working on. So she evolved into spiritual teacher, and I would say she's the grandmother of the energy healing, and her first book is The Hands of Light.
Mm-hmm.
It's well known globally. So, anyhow, her soul evolution, her journey was phenomenal. I was blessed to train with her just 1 year because her program is 4 years.
Oh,
However,
wow.
at that time, I only have money to train only 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a perfect training for me because I'm not meant to certify or being programmed by anyone because I have my own soul evolution. So thank you, Laura Lee. Yeah, that was my
Oh,
journey.
that is wonderful. I love it. Like I talk about, people say, well, you talk about money. And as they get to know me, they'll say, Laura Lee, you're very much into energy healing. And I said, oh, yes, from early 20s, my nickname was Medicine Woman.
Mm,
But I have 25 years as a certified financial planner in finance. So I
wow.
use that as my introduction. And we all know that if you don't have health, you don't have wealth. Like you
True.
don't have true
True.
wealth. So it's just for me to say that it's money mindset. I put the mind in there because we know we have to heal the mind in order
Definitely.
to have the money. And money is just a tool for us to do other things. It's what we use. We don't barter anymore. Your family did barter system years ago. That's what people did. Now we use cash. Well, not sometimes not even cash, but we barter through the cash system, whether it's plastic or actual money. But we deserve to be wealthy. It says that all kinds of, like, people think, oh, I used to think, because I was told that to be spiritual, you could not, like you had to have the poverty. You had to live in poverty to be spiritual. And that is so not true.
It's
So
not
not true at
true.
all. But that's what some people wanted you to believe in order for them to control you. But that is so far from the truth. But I love very much the healing part of it. I think it's just wonderful. And that you are blessed of, to be able to use, in your case, you use a couple of different ways to heal people. Not everybody is open to receiving that information. All of us can do it. We just have to be open and learning to do it. But a few people are blessed from a young age. You were just a child when you realized your blessing, what you were sent here to do. So anyway, I love to do that. I just wanted to comment to people above Kim's head, we have a link that you can go right to her website to learn a little bit more about her. Down below that, you might see that I featured the website also. Whether or not you're watching this on a recording, you're able to connect over to Kim. Now, I'm going to let her tell a little bit more before we get into, before I'm going to do this, which is, I'm going to click on here. Okay, I'll unfeature this. Over here, if you'd like to book with Kim for a 30-minute consultation, you lucky, smart people that do that. I think it's just wonderful that she offers that to you. And I'll pop that out again in a little bit. What I'll do right now is hide it, and then in the chat, I will feature for the calendar link. Oh, yes, that's your website right there. Pardon me. I'll unfeature that and feature the calendar link for you. Now, I want you to continue and tell a little bit more, and then you're going to do a demonstration, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah. So ask me a question. What is it that you want to hear? Because
Oh,
I have so
well,
vast of information.
well, is there anybody else, like you do your courses, you do them online, you do them in person, which is wonderful because before technology had this, you could only help heal a few people that you could physically see.
Yes. So in that case, let me backtrack a little bit. So before the pandemic hit, I have the healing center here in San Francisco. It's called Nurturing Spa for Wellness. It's
Mm-hmm.
located in the border of the Marina District in Cow Hollow. If you heard about the Crooked Street in San Francisco, yes,
Yes, I've not been there yet, but I have heard tell of it.
it's beautiful, by the way. But I am on a flat, uh, it's called Lombard Street. I am on the surface flat. If you go a little further, you will hit the Crooked Street. Yeah, so I have that healing center for 11 years, and I have client globally because it more like a tourist area. And I have client actually visit me and then they went home and they come back the next year to see me again. So I'm very blessed. However, I give it up in 2013. So from 2013 on, I already moved online. At that time, Zoom was not available. So I work with my client mostly on the telephone. I help them heal. I don't know what they look like, but yes, I help people globally for the last 10 years
Mm-hmm.
because I moved from in person. Now I work virtually, mostly online. I mean, for the local people, now I want to build a local community. So I do sound healing to introduce them, to
Mm-hmm.
re engage them, to build a community again. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I left the nurturing spa for wellness, I neglect my local clients because I went online and my
Mm-hmm.
business grow and I forgot about my local people. So now my intention is to gather them together with sound healing, with speaking, and be able to have a local community and also global community online. So that's where I started then.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful that you're back. Well, that's one thing about the technology, that you're able to connect with so many more people. It's wonderful. I just had somebody on yesterday that they have a plan to help influence 2 billion people. That's
Wow.
something. Gives me
Yes.
goosebumps.
Yes.
To know they already know how many people that they're told that they will help influence. It's just wonderful.
Yes. Yes. I guess nowadays with the technology, when you say million, billion, it at your fingertip. When
Yes,
you,
it's amazing. We have 8 billion people on the planet.
it
And as
is.
we evolve, there'll be more and more. And I mean, she's younger, so she has more time to help
Yes.
influence more people. And same for
Yes.
you, technology will help you be able to reach more people. It's wonderful.
Thank you. I embody technology. I'm healing with technology because in our generation, in my generation, I'm the young baby boomer. So
Mhm.
therefore, we're a bit slow in catch up with technology. So my commitment is to embody technology as my friends, so I can
Mhm.
use that to touch millions, billions.
Awesome.
Let me reframe this. In physical sense, we seem not to reach a big audience. In spiritual sense, we already touch at 8 billion people. Let me tell you why.
Yes, please.
Because we are sharing the same breath.
Yes. Even though we're individual, we are all one. We're
Yes,
connected.
in a human collective, the
Yeah.
word oneness. Yes, we are one as a human species.
Mm. So true. So true. Ah, so would you like to tell a little bit about the different ways you are able to heal people?
Yes. So normally I call myself the master heart healer.
Mhm.
The reason of being is when I was in toxic relationship, I'm grateful for it. It was my soul training. Out of that, I have three amazing children. They are now young adult. They are healthy, happy, successful individual. When my children was my healer then, because one day I was looking at my children in the living room, saw them innocently playing. It caused my heartache because their dad didn't treat me well. I was in toxic relationship. Out watching them play, and I was thinking in my mind that time, if if I didn't get myself out of this toxic relationship, my children will continue this pattern in their life. Just the thought of it my heart ached. So at that moment, silently, I decide to really get help somehow to get myself out from this relationship. I'm grateful for my three children. It gave me the strength, the courage to end that marriage. So from when I end the marriage, my heart was broken, my bank account broken, everything was broken. So
Mhm.
I went to Barbara Brennan School, and I also have my healer, my therapist. They help to mend my heart in the journey of healing my heart in that time when I end that toxic relationship. My spirit guide gave me the process how my heart already healed, but I don't know how I heal that. And one day my spirit guide, I'm clairaudient. I hear information,
Mhm.
and also clairvoyant. Audience comes first, voyant comes second, and clairsentient also. One day I was hearing my spirit guide said, Kim, that guy tapped on my shoulder. It's time for you to write a book. I said, huh? I don't know how to write a book. But over the years, I journal. I journal. You already written your book. I said, how the heck I written? How do you know? Well, go to your journal and we'll tell you how to organizing it. So when they told me that, and I just listened, that's where the compilation book, happened.
Mhm.
So my book was published. It's not individual book. It in the compilation book
Yep.
with Sandy Foster. The title is The Path to Success. So my chapter is 7 steps for self transformation. The subtitle is Coming Home. So that was the step that I used to help my client heal. However, as I grow and evolve, I combine that 7 step in a short amount of time to help them heal. So I'm more like a psychic heart surgeon. I go
Oh,
into the heart blueprint, I tangle the generational trauma, karma, and then we really activate and download a new divine blueprint in the higher heart. So that individual will return to love by loving themselves. That's how I help the individual. I go to the heart of the problems. And then when I see the heart of the problems, the majority of my clients have no awareness of their heart problems. So I have to be tactfully educate them, whack them to really own that. The moment they own the heart of that problem, I can help them heal just like that. However, it takes them about 90 days to change their mindset, their negative thought form, emotion, habit, behavior, and also shifting from a victim identity to become a
mhm.
powerful creator in their life. So that's the journey that I take my client to. The healing is the quantum healing of psychic heart surgery very fast, but to change the mindset, behavior, and identity, it takes about 90 days. So that's how I normally serve my client in a journey of 90 days. Thank you, Laura Lee. For,
I look forward to hearing more. Now, I know you run a program too for so many weeks with people. Do you want to tell a little bit about that?
for now, I noticed globally that humanity go into this fear about the finance because we are dealing with financial old structure collapse. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, people thinking about finance, money, they go into fear. So the program I'm offering here is very short. It's a 6 weeks journey to self love. Why do I want to bring them to self love? Because the foundation of self love, it will stabilize our energy from physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and finance to have it
Mm,
all aligned from that place of love. Because when we truly love and alignment within these 5 pillars I just named above, um, within that, our energy frequency is stabilized. Now you can activate your, I call it energy currency. You can use this energy currency because you're no longer being bonded to the past or afraid of the future. You are present in the now. Now your energy is very powerful. You can think of something, boom, the connection will happen. And also, when you are in this place of alignment, when we're not mindful about our thought, if we think about negative thought, boom, the experience also arrive very, very fast
yes.
in terms of the manifestation. So we have to be mindful to really control our mind, the thought in
Mhm.
our mindset, our behavior, our habit, and always because it take 80%. I learned from my new mentor Peggy.
Mhm.
Is it Peggy? No, from a different mentor, uh, Megan Hillier.
Okay.
Yes, she actually charged people $1 million to work with her one on one.
Wow.
So Megan teaching that we need to take control of our inner reality, inner
Mhm.
um, mindset, just energy
Yeah.
present, 80%.
Mhm.
80% is the inner work, 20% is the inspired action. Because when we align, when self love established, we align, we are stay in a higher frequency. So therefore, our manifestation is much faster. So that's what I want to share to the audience, the 5 week journey to self love. If you're
Mhm.
interested, just book the session below. I'll share with you more. Thank
Uh,
you, Laura Lee, for allow me to share that.
Oh, it's wonderful. I working with people for so many years now. I specialized in retirement planning, so I was blessed to have some people that had some money because they had put money away for pension, and it was pension. A lot of it was pension money that they were quote forced to put away, and the pension was able to move. And I was the first person in New Brunswick, let alone a female, to do what I did in the industry. And I worked with mainly men that were 15 to 20 years older minimum than I was, which was
Wow.
also unheard of. Because of being a female and starting out, most of the men, a lot of them were coal miners. A lot of my clients were, and some were, they didn't have a lot of education. Most of them didn't, they never graduated high school, let alone went on. Now, as time went along, I got more people that were better educated and business people. But I was blessed because I asked some people, and I was told no at first, and then I asked again, and it was like, oh, wait a minute. But anyway, that's beside the point. What you're saying about learning when you get at a higher level. But back then, I was considered, Peggy called me this, an unconscious competent,
Yes.
because I didn't know how to explain to other people what I did. Like, or how I was able to manifest something. Like I would say, this is what I want. And normally my thought process used to be, okay, now let me figure out how to get it. What do I need to do? Because that was some of my training prior. So when I got into financial planning, I get into self-improvement. And that's how I learned about Bob Proctor and Jim Rohn and Napoleon Hill. That's how I got introduced from that industry, which is wonderful. And then I started learning more about energy itself. So I love the fact that you work on energy and able to take and change, because I had lots of people, they'd say they wanted to do something, but then we'd make a plan, and then they turn right around and go and sabotage themselves
Yes.
by doing something totally the opposite of what they had just told me they wanted to do. And I
Yes.
didn't understand that. Not that I didn't do it for myself, but sometimes when I had a goal and I was fixated, I was like a dog with a bone. Peggy used that comment to write a book, but I would stay focused. This is what I want. I have to do these things in order to get it. And that's how I did. Now I say, that's what I want. And sometimes the next day it'll appear. Like
Yes.
it's just so, uh, it gives me goosebumps.
It is. It is. That is how you manifest magically, because when we stabilize our energy, now we are in a higher frequency. We commanding things to come to us. We become the magnet. The magnet. Um, Actually, I used to have a friend. Whenever we talk about my manifestation, she said, "Kim, you are so blessed. You just like one of those lazy." There's a book about lazy manifest, like a person who manifests things with ease and grace. You are just like that person. Every time I see you, you manifest this, you manifest that. It's just amazing to watch.
Oh, it's true. It really is. It's
Yeah, it's
wonderful.
magical. It's so
Oh
much
my
fun.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we set the room up specifically so we could hear a little bit of your sound healing.
Okay, perfect. Yes. So what I want to do is, this is the Divine Mother Bowl. I'm going to show to you, and then I will definitely, this is a huge Tibetan
It
bowl.
is a big, mine is just tiny. I meant to have
Yeah.
mine.
I mean, look at how big she is compared with my
Yes.
head. This is almost 10 inches in diameter. So I'm going to play, I call her Divine Mother Bowl. Let me know if it come out well.
It did. Yeah. It's working really great, dear.
Let me put her down because she's heavy.
I
She's
bet it
very,
is.
she does have a soul. She does have a soul. And I have another one here. It's called Crystal Singing Bowl.
I go to bed at night and it'll say to me, some of my meditations are with sound bowls. He'll
Uh-huh.
say, "Are your bowls on?"
Oh, that's so sweet. How's that?
Oh, it's lovely, dear. I thoroughly enjoy that type of meditation myself. Had
Yeah,
no idea that it other than to relax me, I didn't realize it was healing in addition. So
it
that's
does.
wonderful to know that.
It's more like, with our car, we have the car turn up. How
Mhm.
often we turn up, our body and nurture our soul. So with this frequency, it depends on the facilitator.
Oh, I
If
would imagine.
Yeah, if the individual is not, their energy not quite pure, they will transmit something else when you are receiving that session.
Well, that makes sense.
Because I have two um, new client walk in, and they will admire my gigantic crystal ball. They are 28 cubic inches in terms of
Wow.
diameter. I'll share that video with you. I no longer own the bowl. When she walked in and she was asking me about the bowl, and she said, "It's very weird. Last time my friend and I we went to the sound healing. By the time we finished, we both went home. We were so it's so sad, and we keep crying."
Were they releasing?
Because a facilitator emit her energy, it touched the audience. So when they receive that, they didn't know why, but definitely, I didn't ask her whether they was able to manage it well. So the facilitator, whoever facilitatable, they emit their energy. So when you go there, be really mindful, because a few times I went to the singing bowl, the energy was not right, my head hurt, so I have to retreat. So be mindful, be mindful.
Wow, that's very interesting. It makes sense because they're radiating energy, and if they're not at a good place, and it doesn't mean that they're not a good person, but they might not just be at the right place at on that
Right
particular
frequency,
day. Yeah,
the
the right
right
frequency.
frequency. Yes, there's one more example. My student, she said, Kim, every time you play the bowl was magical. I loved it. And my yoga teacher, we practiced 1 hour of yoga. Everybody was at peace. When she go ring the bell, when she play the singing bowl, I got so angry at her.
Interesting. How
So
that
their energy will
affected
transmit.
them. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So be mindful, not just the singing bowl. Be mindful the energy of the person that we are interact with.
that's wonderful. Okay. So I'm so blessed that you're here. Would you like to leave our listeners with a particular any words of wisdom that you would like to share with them?
Yeah, let me share one testimonial and then I will lead to the wisdom. May I?
Sure.
Yeah. So lately I noticed that a lot of people come to me concerned about finance. So I
Mhm.
normally look at the heart of the problem, and they carry the generational, blueprint pattern of scarcity mindset.
Mhm.
So when I go into the heart, got entangled from their energy and ancestor energy, separate themselves. One case, one of my clients, he had nervous cause for a few years. So I was able to help her heal that. And also financially, she was struggling. So when I help her heal the relationship with money, just after the session, we clear the money a block.
Mm-hmm.
Her old former boss is an attorney, and she have a nickname. It's not a really pretty nickname for her old boss. After a session, the boss start to text her and asking if she available to work for her for 6 weeks. Since we straight her money mindset, and within this 6 weeks contract work is not a long term, she decided to ask for $12,000 for 6 weeks. She
Mm-hmm.
got it. She got it.
Just like that.
Just like,
Wow. Wow.
yeah, before she was really afraid to ask for certain numbers. Imagine, and the boss was really shocked. She said, "That's a lot of money." So
She
at
said, if you
first,
want me, that's what I'm worth.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, she negotiated and she got that job. So I want to share that how fast.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. I used to be afraid to ask for the money. You look down below on the left-hand side there, you'll see a tab that says Ask for the Money Club. I didn't know I was such a great giver, and I'd give all this information and give all this stuff, and I didn't know how to receive correctly. But I was shy about asking for the money because I thought if I take money from them, they won't have money for other things, which is totally not the way to look at things. But that's how I was. And it wasn't until I got into the investment where most of my clients did not pay me directly. The mutual fund companies did, the banking system, or the insurance companies paid me. So I didn't have to ask them most of the time. Most of my clients, I didn't ask them for money. I just asked if I could be their representative to help them to look after their finances, and they were fine with that. And I couldn't understand. I didn't understand for the longest time that it was me. It was a mental block that I had for a lot of
Yes,
years. Whether it was generational wealth, I don't believe it could have been on my mom's side because my dad, even though they were very poor, very young, he got rid of each of his three brothers. They got rid of that poverty mindset because they ended up earning a lot of money over the years.
wow.
So I know it wasn't, whether whatever happened, I think it was on my mom's side. My mom definitely, unfortunately, had a very poverty mindset. Always like money doesn't grow on trees. We don't have the money for this. And they weren't rich for a lot of years. But at one point, my father cracked the code for sure. And
Wonderful.
when back in the 70s, he made some changes and it was like day and night for him.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm really proud of my children because I broke the generational curse. So my children are young, and um, among three of them, they own five houses, one in San Francisco, one in Denver, two in Fayetteville, North Carolina, one in Washington State. So I'm really proud,
Oh,
mom. Yeah.
you've trained them well. And like you said, not only trained them, you broke that curse. So that did
Yes.
not affect
Yes. It's
them.
important. Yes.
Mm.
Thank you. Yeah. So for the wisdom that I want to share today is depends where you are. I just want to talk directly to the audience. Depends where you are in your life. Do the self assessment in terms of who you are. You have a healthy relationship with yourself, with your loved one, with your finance, with your job, with your career or your business. Just do a deep dive in the self assessment in all area of your life. If things not right, decided to no longer live at this zip code. If you're not happy with your life, change the zip code, change where you are now, move up to the higher frequency. So for me, it's a suggestion in returning to build that foundation of self love, loving ourselves first, and then we can share our love to others from a place of fullness. There's a difference between true self love. We nurture our love, our soul, our whole being. Sometimes people misunderstand self love of self indulge. They could
Mhm.
go buy watches, they collect a lot of stuff, but they don't take time out to nurture their soul. So for me, self love is being nature, doing things that in your solitude that you nurture your soul and connect with source from that place of wholeness that we have love, we have energy currency to share with others. So it's always a dance. So it come back to when we truly have that foundation of self-love. Now we have the energy of love now between us, Laura Lee. I call this is the love dance because both
Mhm.
of us have love, have compassion for each other. So our conversation is flowing. So the energy exchange is beautiful and
Mhm.
powerful. I call it a love dance. When we don't
Mm.
have love in our heart, when our ego took over, now it's power struggle. There's
Mhm.
disharmony, so there's no love energy to dance with. There will be power struggle who will be domineering and hurt each other. So it's always do that reflection where you are in your life, make change and learn how to love yourself. Know your have self love, self respect, self discipline, self worth. Know thyself well. So, in that place, when you truly know who you are, you can walk proudly in this journey of life with, without being afraid of what people think about us. Because every day is a gift, and tomorrow never promised to anyone. We might be expired anytime. Today is the day to live our
Mhm.
life fully and step into our power and live our true potential, what brings us joy. If I can help and support you, please click the link below. It will be my honor to know you, to support you. So thank you, Lolly, for this wonderful interview. I love and appreciate you.
You're so welcome. We're so blessed to have Kim Lee here. And on here, we love to say if you're going to supersize your group, monetize it. And we can show you how to do that. I love to add on, have a great day and a better tomorrow.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you.